Hi students, this is Unit 2, Notes 10 on the Gold Rush. You will need your notes packet on page 14. You will also need a highlighter, a pencil, and perhaps a yellow colored pencil. However, you could use your highlighter as well. This note set is on the Gold Rush, and we have to start with the background of the Mexican cession. If you recall, we fought Mexico for that piece of land that is orange on the map, and we won that land and it became part of the United States. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo gave the US that region, and we call it the Mexican cession. This land acquisition also included California. At the time, there were about 10,000 Californios, or Mexican Californians, living in the territory, along with a handful of wealthy Americans who owned most of the land. Some Easterners began to migrate to California after the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. In January of 1848, a wealthy California landowner named John Sutter hired James Marshall to build a sawmill along the American River near Sacramento, California. One morning, Marshall found a small gold nugget in a ditch. Though he tried to keep it a secret, word of his discovery leaked out. People across California dropped everything to race to the gold fields. James Marshall is our first important person, and he's found in the middle of page 14. He was the carpenter who discovered gold in the American River while building a sawmill in 1848. By 1849, tens of thousands of gold seekers from all over the world were rushing to California to join the gold rush. Nearly two-thirds were Americans, while the rest came from as far away as China and Australia. These miners were nicknamed 49ers because most came in the year 1849. The majority of 49ers were young men. Most came to look for gold. However, the really smart men came to start businesses instead. Many came along the California Trail. So our first main vocab word is the gold rush, and that is a mass migration of people from around the world who raced to California hoping to strike it rich after gold was found. And the people who joined the rush for gold in California in 1849, we call them 49ers. It's also why the football team is called the 49ers. Life in the mining camps were not very permanent, nor were they very pleasant. Most sprang up overnight and emptied quickly with news of a gold strike somewhere else. These towns had no police to keep order. Men fought over claims and often took the law into their own hands. Digging for gold was hard, tedious work. Miners spent most of their days in muddy creeks and icy rivers. Very few made any money. Entrepreneurs who came to start businesses made more money selling goods to miners. Businesses that served the needs of the miners, like restaurants, general stores, and saloons, thrived. So our next vocabulary word is entrepreneurs. And those are people who went west to start businesses and make a profit off the miners during the gold rush. The gold rush definitely affected California very heavily, and in fact, that gold rush is the reason why California became a state so quickly. Between 1848, when gold was discovered, and 1850, the population of California zoomed from 14,000 to 100,000. California quickly gained a large enough population to apply for statehood. There were twice as many men as there were women settlers. By 1852, the gold rush was over. The surface gold in California was quickly found. More settlers came to mine the underground lodes, but this work was more difficult and expensive. So the big piece that you need to know here is the California gold rush caused California to become a state very quickly. So gold was found in 1848. This is in the middle of your page next to the map. Life in the mining camps was rough. It was the Wild West. There was no law and order, very few women. And what happened in 1850 because of the gold rush? California became a state. And please color California yellow, either with a colored pencil or your highlighter. There was definitely some positives with the gold rush. It led to a lot of new businesses, and California became a state. However, every time we talk about positives of something, there is a flip side and there are some negatives. For the native people who lived in California long before the gold rush, the invasion of new settlers and prospectors was disastrous. Diseases were brought with the new population that the natives had not been exposed to in the past. Violence over land and water rights also impacted the population. Between 1848 and 1870, California's Indian population dropped from about 150,000 to around 30,000. Many of the Californios also lost their land to the newcomers. So, the negatives of the gold rush: it took land from the Indians, violence and diseases killed many Americans, and mining destroyed the land. This concludes Notes 10 found on page 14 of your packet. Please make sure that you have everything filled in and have a good day.